In a volleyball season that has felt anything but familiar, it's a familiar face inside DJ Sokol Arena today as the purple and gold of the Northern Iowa Panthers come to town to take on the Creighton Blue Jays. Hello everybody, and thanks for joining us here on GoCreighton.com for our volleyball match this afternoon. I'm John Schreiner, joined by former Blue Jay Kate Elman. Kate, it's been a weird start to the season, but the Blue Jays have gotten it done in that first match.
They did. I mean, I'm really excited to see what they have to bring to this one. Again, the first match, always good to get underneath your belt and everything. So I'm excited to see what the Jays have. They have a lot of firepower in the front row, so it'll be an exciting game. Northern
Iowa, normally a very good team. They've started the season 0-2. One of the youngsters that's showing up for them is Emily Holterhouse.
She is. She's showing up in a big way, too. She leads their team in all offensive categories. She was named to NBC All-Freshman Team, so it'll be exciting to see what she has to bring to the Jays today.
And in that first game against UNO, one of the bright spots for the Blue Jays is a familiar face, Jayla Zimmerman.
She is. I mean, she had a double-double against UNO, and it'll be really exciting to see what she can build off of that this year.
42-11, the all-time series lead for UNI over Creighton. See if the Blue Jays can put them in the rear view and move to 2-0 on this early season. Start of our match is next. Creighton Volleyball on Jays Video is brought to you by Coca-Cola. Together tastes better. John Schreiner, Kate Elman, back here with you inside DJ Sokol Arena. Team's headed out to the floor. We're just about set for action. Kate, what are you looking for Creighton in the early part of this match?
I would say, you know, they're a great team when it comes to making sure they're not making errors right now. They got, again, I've said it before, they have a lot of firepower and a lot of experience in the front row. I think it's going to be really exciting to see what Van Eckeren has to bring to this game.
And for Northern Iowa, the offense has been struggling. They're hitting just 124 as a team, so it's going to be incumbent on Creighton to not make errors today.
Absolutely, and I think that's something that UNI will have to work through, again, still early in the season. Again, a young team, so those early few games, you know, got to shake off all the cobwebs and everything. But especially for them, I think seeing what they have to bring in the front row is going to be important.
Sarah Konovadoff starts us off with the serve, and they go to Kostelak on the left side. Good swing to the back row, dug out. Here's the attack from the left for UNI. That's Emily Holterhouse. We talked about her in the open.
That was a great swing. I mean, it was a pretty out of system set, but I mean, she took that off the net and had a good swing at it.
Konovadoff to serve, the freshman out of Aurora, Illinois. Comes near side for Davis, and it's blocked out of bounds.
That was a pretty tight set. She did a really good job of going up there and using the hands of those blockers.
And 1-1 early going. And it will be Davis to serve. Highlands Ranch, Colorado native. Middle set was too high for Arndorfer, and that's an unforced error for the Panthers.
Just a little miscommunication there. I mean, for a young team, I think, you know, trying to get the feel for a new setter, get the feel for a new hitter. going to be something to keep an eye on this game.
Second serve for Davis is a tough one to deal with. Panthers able to get it over, but it's stuffed right at the net. Second attack for UNI. Dug out of there by Pua'a. Punched over by Naomi Hickman. Another attack on this side for Holterhouse, and she couldn't get over top of it.
It's interesting, this game. I mean, again, we're only a few points in, but both teams seem to be struggling with the basics. You know, good pass, good sets, things like that. So could be just pregame jitters. Let's everybody settle down and play a little volleyball.
Davis just does get it on the let serve. Set the attack for Creighton. Middle set for Hickman, and she buries it.
It's a great swing. It's a good dig by Grace Nelson, and she set her up just perfectly.
Hickman, 17 total attacks in the first match, but ended up with just 6 kills. That's a good start for her. Davis still at the service line. Big swing from Holterhouse, and she gets it off high hands.
Again, another out-of-system set. Their setter's doing a great job of, you know, trying to put her hitters in good situations.
Kanavadov really been targeted with the serve by Creighton. Had a couple of rough goes, but UNI able to get the side out point there. 4-2, Creighton with the lead. And to serve is Carly Spees. And her serve is well deep. And Spees, who's had 2 aces through the first 2 matches for UNI, need to take a little something off that one.
Just a little. Sometimes, I mean, it's different just because you're playing in a new gym. That depth perception can always get the best of you.
Received by Kanavadov that time. An in-system play for UNI, but the Creighton defense comes up big.
That's a great setup by our blockers. I mean, against UNO, we had 10 total blocks. That's pretty good when it comes to doing their job at the net.
That's Zimmerman right at the net, pushing it over. There's an attack for Creighton from the near side. Zimmerman, a good dig on the back row. Lobbed over by Holterhouse. Pua'a sets outside for Kostelak. Kept alive. Good swing from the outside by Kalissa Arndorfer, one of the sophomores for UNI.
See, right now, both teams are doing a great job of keeping their hits inbound, making the other team make the error.
And Arndorfer is a player that UNI really needs to show up. She was preseason all-conference, but has struggled quite a bit through their first 2 matches. Zimmerman, the cross-court try, but it's a little wide.
Just after I said errors. It happens.
6-4 the score now. 2 losses for UNI. Drake and UNO. Panthers lost to the Mavericks last night. Kostelak, a little bit long.
We talked about this at the beginning of the game. I think Creighton specifically, they will have to hurt themselves to lose, if that makes sense. So
Sure.
they're, again, all of their hitters are older, you know, have had experience. So making them keep the ball in play and making the other team make errors is something I think that will help them keep their season going.
After the second ball attack from Pua'a, 7-5. Creighton still in front. It'll be Erica Kostelak, the transfer from Cincinnati, now in her senior season to serve. That one's deep. So 7-6. Both teams with plenty of errors here in this first set. That brings Emily Holterhouse to the line. 3 aces, just 1 service error through the first 2 matches for Northern Iowa. On the right side for Zimmerman, dug out. And Northern Iowa with a cross-court kill. That's the young Turk, Yagmur Sinel.
Both of UNI's outside hitters seem to be liking that cross-court shot right now. And a lot of that has to do with where they're hitting it. It's right in between middle and left back. I mean, that should be well taken away by our blockers.
Holterhouse trying to get a little drop on that serve, and it sunk a bit early. Gives Creighton the lead back at 8-7. Now it's Jayla Zimmerman to the service line. Zimmerman 11 kills on 34 attacks in the opening match against UNO. Good serve from Jayla, just died as it crossed the net.
Back in my day, those were the toughest balls to pass. I mean, when it looks like it's coming right at you and she can get that pretty good float on it and it just falls right in front of you, man, that's a tough ball to pass.
First ace of the season for Jayla Zimmerman. Puts it right in the same spot. Panthers able to deal with this one, and a swing from Sinnell is too long, and Blue Jays back in front by 3, 10-7.
They seem to be having a pretty tough time trying to receive Zimmerman right now.
Third serve from Zimmerman is controlled. And a back row attack. Too tough to handle for Ellie Bolton, one of the freshmen for Creighton.
That was a great swing from the back row. Again, not a great pass, but those that are finding a way to involve their hitters in good situations. And she came in flying, and that was a great back row swing.
This is Bailey Peterson to serve, and a second ball attack is down, and that's Allie Van Ekeren. And she's a player, Kate, that we think needs to step up in a big way for Creighton.
Absolutely, and she doing it from both angles. So since Creighton's running a 6-2, she has a job of being a leader as a setter and being a leader as a hitter. And I think, you know, that can be a big role to take on, and it'll be exciting to see her take that on.
Reinhardt's serve was tough to handle, just free-balled over, but a little miscommunication for the Blue Jays, and it's a giveaway point for UNI.
Those are those points, you know, as you get into the season and as, you know, you start playing more and more and more, it's going to be tougher to win those games if, you know, those types of errors are happening.
Got to look at Bobby Peterson now in her 21st season, 509 coaching wins. That's tied for first all time in the Mo Valley. Bobby Peterson looking to get that win number 510 and take her place atop the all-time coaching ranks in the Missouri Valley Conference history. Some accomplishment.
Absolutely. 3 Sweet 16 appearances.
Set across for Keely Davis, and she absolutely hammers one
That
to the back corner.
was a great swing by Keely Davis. She came into that one with a heavy arm. Something that Jays are doing really good right now is they're not letting UNI go on runs. I mean, each server for UNI has been back there for, you know, maybe 2 serves at a time.
That's something we saw from Davis in her redshirt freshman season last year. She's just got a ton of power.
She does. She goes in, and again, it's controlled power, but she just winds up. She, each time she goes, she's taking a smart, big swing.
UNI called for the violation, gives Creighton another point, back in front by 3. This match has kind of stayed within about a 3 to 5 point window the whole way, but Creighton's been in control. Pua out of serve. And the set from Alden, and it's rejected. Panthers try to regroup. Sinnell gets it across, and the Creighton block unable to come up with it.
Just happens sometimes when those blockers' hands aren't completely pressed over. Those hitters hit it pretty hard, and if your hands aren't pressed over and forcing that ball to stay on the other side, it'll just drop right in front of you.
Davis had a shot at it. It's a little too close to the net. And there's a good serve from Konovadoff. She gets the ace. Back to a 1-point game. If that name, Konovadoff, sounds familiar to you, it's because her sister Martha has played on some of those great Marquette teams that you've seen in the Big East. So the Konovadoff family producing high-level volleyball players. (14-12) the score. There's Kirsten Bernthal Booth, 18th season, 372 and 171, the career record for her. Touched up and over, and 2 Creighton players right there for it. Kostelak and Naomi Hickman, and it's a point for Creighton, and that gets us to our media timeout. Creighton leading 15-12 here in set number 1. We'll finish off that first frame when we come back. 15-12 the score here in set number 1. Blue Jays up by 3 points. And Kate, neither team has really been swinging very well on the offensive end, but it's more than that. You think there's something else at play here with these two teams?
I do. I think both teams aren't doing a great job getting the ball to their setter. They're not doing a good job in the back row, and that's how every game starts, and that's how every game is decided. No matter if you have the best hitter in the country, if you can't pass and put those hitters in good situations, it's going to be tough to win a game.
And Davis back to serve for the second time here in set number 1. Dug out by Konovadoff. Set blocked by Hickman. A good block setup over there on the left side by Kostelak and Hickman.
I'll tell you what, if I was a hitter, I would not want to show up versus Creighton's front row. That's a big wall to try to get through.
Naomi Hickman at 6'4". That one up high off the arms for Konovadoff, and it was out of sync from the beginning. And I'm not sure what the call is here.
Looks like it was just a replay, but I wasn't aware.
Maybe an inadvertent whistle.
Maybe.
As we saw the up official holding up a little electronic whistle that they use now. Perhaps he just tapped the button inadvertently. So we're going to get a replay here at 16-12. Deep serve from Davis, and it's too long.
As again, some of those unforced errors that are, down the road are going to put Jays in situations that are going to be tough to get out of.
There's Carly Spies, junior out of Robbins, Iowa, to serve. Out of set, middle set, comes off the block for Zimmerman. Out to Kostelak now, and she buries one.
Right on the inside hands of those blockers. She does a great job of picking her shots based on what she sees and trying to hit around those blockers.
There's that electronic whistle. The things we see in the time of COVID. Scramble by UNI to get it back over. Back to the middle. That's Kiara Reinhardt, a freshman. And she gets a tap at the net, gets it across. Bailey Peterson, the coach's daughter, couldn't handle it. Creighton up 18-13. You see it on the screen. 54th meeting since 1994. Let's break that down a little bit. Told you off the top, UNI leads the all-time series 42-11. But Kate, did you know from 1994 to 2005, Northern Iowa beat Creighton 24 straight times? That doesn't even seem possible today.
No. That's a surprising stat to me. And not to say, UNI's always been a great team, but I think, as the years have gone on, Creighton has evolved, and Kirsten has taken this team to new heights. And
over the last 10 games, however, from 2012 to last season, which was the 2019 season, Creighton holds an 8-2 advantage over the Panthers. So the fortunes have certainly changed
they seem
for the
to
Blue
be
Jays.
in the favor of the Jays
Yes.
at this point.
Northern Iowa is such a great program. They're always expected to be great. In fact, this team, despite losing an honorable mention All-American, the Mo Valley Setter of the Year, another Mo Valley first teamer, and the player that led them in digs last season. All those players are gone from last year. They were still voted to win the conference.
Which is something that when I was looking, I thought it was a surprising stat, but if you look at their freshman class and everybody that's on the floor right now, Coach sure has a lot to build off of in the few years as well.
And Bobby Peterson, we mentioned that her daughter Bailey Peterson is playing for her now. She out there, the libero, wearing the yellow shirt. Her twin sister, Sydney, is the libero at Texas. There's a serve into the net for the Blue Jays.
Again, those are back-to-back errors, 2 service errors in a row, both after either a timeout or when Keely Davis put in the net was after a replay. Those are just those times that you don't want, don't give the other team that opportunity to get out of a situation.
The serve from Donner It's set outside for Zimmerman, and she's able to work it across the net for the point. And it's Kostelak back to serve. Kostelak, 3 aces in that opening match against UNO. Nearly got one there. Good dig by Peterson. And the cross-court try from Holterhouse is kept alive. And Zimmerman gets one off the block. Jayla Zimmerman picking up right where she left off.
The great thing about Jayla is that she's not only hitting, she's finding creative ways to score points. As the season goes on, you know, they scout you and they know what your tendencies are. And she does a great job of finding a way to get a point no matter what.
Holterhouse puts one wide. Creighton now up 7. They've really stretched out the lead here. We're heading down the stretch. And Creighton 4 points from taking this first set. We'll step aside. Give you the conclusion when we come back. Fans in the stands, that's an unusual sight these past few months, but about 200 expected here today. 10% capacity allowed for DJ Sokol Arena. We're so happy when we get to have fans in the arena to watch Blue Jay volleyball. Kostelak still at the service line. Off the hands of Donner, kept alive by Peterson, and then, boy, Holterhouse almost made the most of that. And then Zimmerman causes mass confusion on the back line. And Blue Jays 3 away from taking set number 1.
Kostelak's got a great serve on her. You can tell a great serve by how much that ball spins. And I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't move when it's in the air.
Just a straight knuckler from Kostelak, and that one died before it crossed the net. We'll give it back to UNI, serving at 22-15 Creighton. Kostelak out. Ellie Bolton will come in. Defensive specialist, freshman out of Shawnee, Kansas. Both of these teams playing a lot of young players. Holterhouse, another deep serve. We saw her do that her first time through. Just hasn't dialed in the distance here in Sokol Arena yet.
Again, those are, you know, those young errors that we hope as she grows as a player are few and far between.
Zimmerman to serve, trying to serve out set number 1. Far side set for Sinnell. Did it touch hands? It did not.
Just wide.
Just wide. Now we have set point. Jayla Zimmerman to serve it. Creighton leading by 9. Zimmerman's serve almost got the ace. It's blocked at the net. Back to the other side. The Blue Jays have a 1-0 lead, taking set number 1, 25-15. We'll head to set number 2. On the other side. Here's your Creighton Blue Jays non-conference volleyball schedule. We are in game number 2 of that schedule. A couple against South Dakota coming up. Then in February, there's an interesting little series. February 5th and 6th. It's Marquette playing in the non-con. What's the purpose here, Kate?
That RPI. I mean, you're in this weird time right now. You can't go sometimes and play the big teams, and right now they have an option to play Marquette, you know, an extra time. That's just going to boost an RPI for both of them.
And then the conference schedule, again, starting it off with Marquette, and then Xavier DePaul and Butler coming up in March. And I'm sure, despite having to play in this late winter, early spring type of season, these players are just thankful that they get to be on the court this year.
Absolutely, whether it's with electronic whistles and masks, I think they're just all excited that they get to have a season. I think we're all excited that they get to have a season.
And the conference tournament will be in this very building. April 2nd and 3rd, top 4 teams will make it to the Big East tournament. Creighton looking to extend that run of tournament championships here in 2021. Set number 2 just about to start. Blue Jays took set number 1, and Mahina Pua'a comes to Creighton by way of Iowa Western, and the University of Arizona gets us started, and it's a point for the Blue Jays.
I think that's something that UNI has struggled with all game. I've said it before, I'll say it again. They are young, and that's something that, you know, they're going to have to learn pretty quickly, is that if you can't pass, if you're struggling passing, it's going to be tough to win a game.
Blocked at the net, kept alive, and pushed over by Kostelak. Good scrambling defense by Creighton. Blocked at the net again. Pua'a sets it far side for Kostelak. A good dig by Kanabadov. Kostelak wins the joust.
Give it to UNI's defense. I mean, that was a great dig on a well-hit ball. Just had a little too much on it.
2-0 Creighton here, set number 2. And UNI wants a challenge here. So we're going to go to the monitor. What could they be challenging here, Kate? What do you think?
I think they're going to see if she was in the net. So when she goes up that second time, I'm thinking UNI thinks her wrist got the top of that tape.
And we'll get a little look at it here.
Ah, looks clean.
Is there anything with the foot there? Did she perhaps come across the line with the feet?
Nope, straight up, straight down.
No. I think this challenge is going to be lost by Bobby Peterson, and may also be just a chance to talk to her team without taking a timeout.
Absolutely, and that was something that was not a thing when I played. And if I was a coach, I'd make sure I took good advantage of that.
Sure.
If I have something to burn, why not?
Yeah, exactly. But right now, from the looks of things, perhaps, well, there was, as we rewound it there, maybe Kostelak had stepped across the line before she went up in the air. We'll see what the call is.
This is the only call that of her entire foot, and it looks like it was.
Yeah, and just at the tail end of our replay there, I think I did catch perhaps Kostelak had stepped over onto the UNI side of the floor. So it is a point for UNI.
I have a few games in my past that I would have loved a few challenge cards.
Sure. Spees to serve, and another deep one for UNI. It's been a problem.
You seem to be having a hard time with the basics, the serve and pass game.
Blue Jays up 2-1. Keely Davis in to serve. Spees to the bench now for UNI. Kanabadov can't handle it. It's an ace for Keely Davis.
It was a well-served ball by Davis.
It just looked like Kanabadov was a little slow to move the feet. Didn't get herself in position.
A little bit, and if you don't catch it right off that hand, it comes at you so fast that you either got to get in front of it or out of the way.
And risk high-risk serve for Davis doesn't come off there. Back to a 1-point game, 3-2.
Coach Booth does preach high risk, high reward when it comes to that serve. In the recent past years, the Jays have gotten tremendously better from an aggressive serving standpoint.
Davis with the back row attack, just a little long. Good decision by Bailey Peterson to let that one go.
Jays looking for a touch.
Kirsten Bernthal Booth going to pull the green card, call for the challenge. Looking for a touch at the net.
It's always funny to see everybody's hands go up. I thought I saw it. I didn't think I saw the ball go off a hand, but I've been proven wrong plenty of times before.
Get a look at the replay here. That's going to be the ace for Davis. We got a ways to go. We got to get forward here because Davis is going to serve one into the net. There we go. That's where we're looking right there. All the players, as you said, Kate, hands in the air looking for a touch.
Looks like her fingers bent backwards a little bit. She might have gotten a piece of that.
Yeah,
right there.
Right there. The finger looks like it's bending. That's what you're looking for, is those fingers to bend back a little bit. It certainly appears on our replay that Kirsten Bernthal Booth is going to win this challenge. Right now it's 3-3.
Looks like it does get the tip of her fingers right there.
This would change the score from tied to Creighton up.
Looks like it just got her right hand.
Taking a long look at this over at the table. And we're hearing that he is going to call a touch from that far side. And it's a point to Creighton.
Looks like the team was right.
Be 4-2 Creighton. So from a tie game to Creighton up 2 on the good challenge from Coach Bernthal Booth. There's Grace Nelson. Bennington, Nebraska native. It's nice to be a volleyball coach in this state. You don't only have to travel far to find good players.
Absolutely. Nebraska is a volleyball state through and through.
Middle set. And shot a little bit wide from the freshman Reinhardt. 4-3. Creighton in the lead. UNI to serve. Holterhouse. She's been serving really deep. See if she's got that under control yet. It's better. Inside for Zimmerman, a little bit behind her. Had to reach back. Second ball attack doesn't come off. UNI resets. Near side for Sinnell. Good dig on the back row by Nelson. Zimmerman just has to touch it over. Bumped high in the air by Holterhouse. Sinnell to the back row. Pua'a outside. Zimmerman cross court, dug out by Peterson. Near side, Sinnell just has to touch it over. Bump set from Nelson. Kostelak with a big swing off the hands and down.
It's a great play by both teams. You kind of see them settling down into the game. Both, having pretty good defense, not really wanting to let anything drop. Unfortunately, that one just got the hands of the blocker.
5-3 Creighton. Longest rally of the day right there. Kostelak with a double knee brace. Back to serve, and this one's in the net.
Both teams seem to be struggling pretty hard behind the line right now. Again, it's that walking the line.
Right. Kostelak, she hits the ball so hard from the service line, she has to keep it low to keep it in. And those are just going to happen from time to time.
Actually, coaches do. They want those antennas on the net, not just for in and out. They use that as at practice and everything. You want to be serving below that. So the point is to keep it low, but above the net.
There's a good second ball attack for a point for Creighton. Back in front by 2, 6-4. And Zimmerman to serve. swing from the middle that's wide.
Was wide, but that's exciting to see. I mean, they strung together a great pass, a great set. Honestly, a pretty good attack, just a little wide.
UNI hitting minus 061 for the match now. Wide for Sinnell, and it's blocked. Van Ekeren and Reinhardt, the two youngsters, get up on the near side.
They seem to be having their way at the net.
So at 8-4, get a timeout as Bobby Peterson wants to talk things over with her squad. It's got to feel right now like things are starting to slide the wrong way for the Panthers.
Absolutely, and looking at the stats right now with a negative .088 hitting percentage, that's going to be tough to win a match when you're hitting in the negatives. You got to also blame it on, you know, not just the hitting and everything, but what happens first, that pass and serve game. So if you're struggling doing that, you're not getting great balls out to your hitters, putting them in good situations. It's going to be tougher to win a match that way.
Let's take a look at some of the preseason polls. The Midwest Division, Creighton, #1 for the Big East. And again, the Big East has divided the conference into 2 divisions to limit the amount of travel necessary. St. John's #1 in the East, Creighton #1 in the Midwest, and Marquette also in that Midwest division. That sets up some really big showdowns here down the road.
I'm excited to see that Midwest division. Looking at that right now, I mean, that's anybody's division. You can put Creighton on the top right now. Those are going to be some pretty fun games to watch, though.
Midwest is volleyball country for sure. It always used to be the West Coast that was the dominant force in volleyball, but the trend has kind of shifted toward the center part of the country over the last few years.
I have noticed that as well. And growing up watching volleyball, it was definitely
The California schools.
absolutely. And you're completely correct when it has saying that shift to the Midwest. And that's exciting for Midwest volleyball in general.
I mean, Nebraska, Wisconsin, Minnesota, even schools like Penn State. It's, I mean, Northern Iowa and Creighton, don't leave them out. I mean, the teams in the middle part of the country have really started to dominate proceedings. I mean, you never count out Stanford. They're always right there at the top as well. But I mean, Texas has been good in recent years. It's right down the center of the country. Either side of the Mississippi River is volleyball country now.
Volleyball powerhouse.
Point for UNI. Makes it 9-6, Creighton up 3. That'll be Konovadoff heading back to the service line. Serve for her, dug out by Zimmerman. Near side for Hickman, and the block is strong for the Panthers. It was Holterhouse and Spies getting up.
Showing that, you know, they're a force to reckon with at the net as well.
And that's really what you want to see out of a timeout as a coach, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Davis from the far side took something off, hit the off-speed shot, got the point.
We were chatting about this earlier, just how much of a heavy arm Keely Davis has. And right there, it just shows her volleyball IQ. I mean, you're not going to score every time you try to hit it as hard as you can. Just reading that defense and being able to see where the open spots in the court are good to have as a good outside hitter.
And a little dink shot attempt from Spies. Doesn't get over the tall and long arms of Naomi Hickman.
Hickman's been doing great things at the net for the Jays in these past 2 games. I mean, she's there, and she has announced her presence.
Second serve for Pua'a. And a good swing, but it's dug out in the back row by Nelson. Davis from the near side with another off-speed shot. And that one's down for the Blue Jay point.
She found a hole, and she's going to exploit it. One thing I loved about like beach volleyball is the first team to recognize the weakness in the other team, and the team to exploit it the best is gonna win. And it seems like Keely Davis just found a weakness in UNI's defense.
12-7, Pua'a serving for her third point. Holterhouse just gets it above the block. Kept alive for Davis. She swings one down the line and just misses.
Give credit to Creighton's defense. They are making it tough for UNI to score points right now.
5 blocks for the Blue Jays to just 1 for UNI right now. Spees with the serve, a good one. Nelson able to keep it up. Davis with a big swing, that one off hands. And just too much for Taylor Alden to deal with.
A little bit, I think that Kaylissa Ardendorf kind of had her hands out like she was going to touch it, and sometimes fakes out the defense as well.
It's about communication. Young teams especially, you know, players who maybe haven't played as many matches together. Told you all the players that UNI lost from that team a year ago. As much as it is about skills on the court, it's about being comfortable with your teammates as well.
Absolutely, and especially defense-wise, you have to be able to trust the other 2 people back there. You know, that's her ball, this is my ball. And it does come down to communication and trust.
Just knowing where the rest of your teammates are going to be and where they expect you to be is such a key part of this game. And it comes down to experience. And right now, UNI just doesn't have a lot of it. 14-9 the score. Joust at the net. And a big win for Kiera Reinhardt. 6'3" middle out of Cedarburg, Wisconsin. Gives Creighton the 15-9 lead, and that gives us a chance to step aside. Blue Jays up 1-0. 59 the score in set number 2. Emily Bressman to serve. At the net, just dinked over. Bressman keeps it alive. Back row for Davis is too long.
I've seen Kirsten wanting to incorporate more of that back row attack. She has great hitters that are in the back row. Might as well use them as another option. But that's something as you get into those higher caliber teams, the less free balls you put over, the better. And having that firepower in the back row will serve them well.
I feel like it's something we used to see with Taryn Cloth and Jaylee Winters all the time. When they were back row, they were still getting attacks.
Absolutely, and I even remember, you know, back a few years when I was playing, we would have plays specifically set the back row. They're not expecting it, and sometimes you get a blocker's hands up there by accident, and it goes right off. It's a great attack to have.
Off the missed pass for Creighton, it's 15-11. And a big swing from Zimmerman, but kept alive. Sinel just over the hands of Kostelac. And there's a point for UNI.
Finding creative ways to score. I think that's what is going to get UNI back in this game.
And they've almost got it back to even on the hitting percentage. 11 kills, 12 errors for the Panthers. Zimmerman with a tough one. Back to the middle, and there's the freshman again. Reinhardt with a big bury.
Jays are just doing a great job siding out. They are not letting UNI go on any runs whatsoever. And I attribute that to their passing. They're passing really well. It's very easy for them to be in system right now.
We said at the top, when it was kind of a choppy start to this match, neither team was passing well. Creighton's picked it up in that area. Northern Iowa still hasn't really figured it out.
Not yet. Again, a young team, sometimes it's easy to get in those ruts and harder to pull yourself and your team out of it. So they're looking better. Their passing has gotten better throughout the game, but
they were at one point minus 088 hitting percentage. They've gotten it back to 0. 12 kills, 12 errors.
And that's something, again, that comes with young. Sometimes you just get in those ruts and you're just wanting to put the ball over the net and just can't find a way to get a kill.
How about that finish from Van Ekeren off of a tough pass that looks like it's going over the net. She just gets a hand to it, puts it down.
Must be nice to be that tall.
Not something you or I would know about. Free balled across. Nelson comes out of the back to take it. Davis with a monster swing from the left side, and nobody was getting a fingertip to that one.
Both setters for Creighton right now are doing a great job of keeping that attack balanced. It's very hard for UNI to try to decide where to go on that block, which is leaving huge holes right there in the middle of their block, and that's hard to play defense behind.
Serve from Zimmerman. Tough ball at the net. Good save by Nelson, and then Zimmerman just trying to put it over. Hits it off the bottom of her wrist.
It happens. Great touch by Grace Nelson, though. I think she's doing a great job in the back row for the Jays.
Grace Nelson, somebody you know pretty well, Kate.
I do. I had the privilege to coach Grace when I was a Jay, and I coached her club team, and I did a few privates here and there with her, and she's a great player. Great, even better kid.
Zimmerman with the kill. Good shot right along the back line there. Those are hard to handle. And it'll be Reinhardt's serve. 19-14. Block again on the left side. This one off the fingertips, and it gets down for a Panther point.
UNI's just hanging right there. They're finding creative ways to score, getting the job done. We are at 13 kills and 12 errors now, and the positives for the Panthers.
Hickman, big swing off the hands, and a good block for UNI as they draw ever closer. 19-16. It looked like Creighton was threatening to blow this set wide open, and Northern Iowa's having other ideas here.
Something great to see from a young team as well. Something that they have the urge and want to fight back.
Grace Nelson, what doesn't she do? One of those players that does absolutely everything for her team.
Including mop the floor.
Including mopping the floor. Usually when we talk about mopping the floor, we're talking about something different when it comes to sporting events.
Absolutely.
Block again. That's Hickman and Davis. This one's sent long. It'll be a point to Creighton.
UNI, especially on that right side attack, she's having a hard time trying to get through that block over there.
I don't know if they've scored a point from that side yet today, Kate. All of their success seems to be coming from the near side through Holterhouse and Sinnell. They just have not gotten anything going over on that offensive right side.
I agree with you. I think outside is where they're having the most success, but 3/4 of their balls are going out there because passing's an issue.
That's right.
That's a great swing by the outside.
That's Emily Holterhouse. She leads this team, as we said, in virtually every offensive category. The only one is one that she's not really involved in, assists, because she's not the setter.
Pick or choose, one or the other. Can't do both.
Kostelak gets blocked. And here come the Panthers. 20-18, a timeout called. Kirsten Bernthal Booth feels it slipping a little bit for her side, wants to talk it over. This is a good block
That was a great block. You see right there, you have 4 hands right in your face, pushing over the net, and that's going to be hard to get through.
But it did seem, Kate, that Kostelak was a little bit far away from the net. She was set a little bit deep there, it looked like.
She is, and what happens then is it's very hard for those hitters to see the court and see those hands in front of you. When that set is perfectly on the net, you can see those hands right in front of you and, you know, try to roll shot or tip off of it. When you're off that far, you don't have that vision. So.
And this is exactly what you're talking about. The first 2 phases of the play, the pass and the set, if they're not perfect, it's just not going to work out.
Again, you can't expect perfection, obviously, but when, you know, it's not a good pass, at least a decent one, to put the setter in a good situation, it's tough as a setter to get a good ball to your hitters that they can be successful on.
And we've talked about all the inexperience for Northern Iowa. I mean, Creighton loses players, you know, from their side of things, in Madeline Cole, who was an all Big East setter, and the player who broke your record for career gigs in Brittany Witt. I mean, I'm sorry to bring that up, but.
Sore subject? No, Brittany was an amazing libero, and those are 2 key roles that are sometimes pretty tough as a team to replace. And I think Creighton's done a great job right now. They got great players and people that are willing to play their part.
And a little bit of miscommunication as the Blue Jays were unsure who was going to hit the floor to try and save it, and Northern Iowa back to within a point. And Spies at the service line. Nelson to Pua'a, middle set for Hickman, big kill.
Nelson has done, again, a great job in the back row for the Jays right now. I don't think she has either gotten aced and or not put up a good pass for the Jays yet. She's putting them in a great situation.
4 points away from taking a 2-0 lead in this match. Davis. Backside set, and it's driven long. Alyssa Arndorfer from that short side, unable to find the line.
Jays seem to have gotten a little bit cleaner when it comes to their serve, the latter part of the set.
22-19 now. Tough serve from Davis. Set up in system, and Pua'a couldn't handle it. Off the big swing from Holterhouse.
It was a great swing, and putting it right through that block. I mean, those are always tough balls to dig, and that's basically a reaction, is can I get a hand on it?
22-20, young Panther team showing a bit of fight here in set number 2. High off the arms for Nelson. Tapped over. Bailey Peterson with the free ball across. Pua'a, middle set Hickman, and it's working to perfection. Couple of big points for Naomi Hickman here down the stretch.
Absolutely, and that was a great keep-in system play by Kostelak as well. We saw before when she was set off the net, she hit it hard into 4 hands, big wall. And that one, again, same ball, but she chooses to do something different with it.
Here's Emily Bressman trying to serve out the final 2 points of this set. Holterhouse with a monster swing from this side. And she's got another point. And Emily Holterhouse, who struggled early on, starting to come alive here in the later part of set number 2.
Finding ways to get creative kills, and it just seems like her attack is a little too strong for Zimmerman out there right now.
23-21. And it will be Holterhouse to serve. Davis to Pua'a. Near side for Kostelak with the dink shot. Sinell through hands, kept alive. Zimmerman. Peterson there for UNI. Sinell blocked.
On Jay's side of the net, just fell right in front of our blockers. That was a great reaction play by Pua'a, though, keeping that ball alive.
So 23-22. Northern Iowa still alive. Zimmerman, big swing off dig attempt from Kaylee Donner. That one had some velocity.
She didn't like Holderhouse taking her 2 times on the block, so she had something to say back.
Set point here for the Blue Jays. They lead by 2, and it'll be Kostelak. High risk, high reward server at the line. And a big swing from the middle is wide, and Creighton will take set number 2 on the attack error from Northern Iowa. And maybe an appropriate way to finish it, as Northern Iowa got the offense going a little bit there through set number 2, but ultimately it's just been struggles for them from the outside. We'll take a break. Creighton up 2-0 at the intermission. Creighton Volleyball on Jay's Video is brought to you by Coca-Cola. Together, tastes better. Take a look at some highlights from set number 1. Okay, this set was really choppy and uneven.
Yep, it was, especially from a passing standpoint, serve and pass. I mean, they were just extremely sloppy when it came to serve and pass. I mean, it was a little harder to watch.
But Creighton found rhythm late in the set, able to pull away, get the victory in set number 1. And then in set number 2, it looked like at about the 15-point mark, Creighton was threatening to just run away and hide, but this young UNI team showed some fight.
They did. I think they've done a good job of trying to keep the ball in play and trying to make the Jays make errors. That's something that they struggled with in the beginning of the set was, you know, them making their own errors. I think they've done a better job of keeping the ball in play.
Now, how about this? There's Kate Elman in the broadcast chair. Kate Elman on the volleyball court. Kate finished her career as the all-time digs leader at Creighton. We're so thankful that she joins us here for this broadcast on Jay's Video. What do you think, Kate? Could you still get out there and do it?
I'm going to have confidence in myself and say yes.
All right, good.
Now, how pretty it's going to look. I was always I always gave effort, though.
Right. Well,
just like that play.
Kept alive somehow by Creighton. And a good swing from Holterhouse, but Keely Davis was there. Zimmerman, touch over the top. Long rally, UNI off the block, kept alive. Zimmerman again, and she gets the cross-court kill.
That was a big swing. Seems like she's been a little bit slower offensively. I think she's doing, when it comes to the whole game, more things for her team in terms of defense and blocking-wise. That was a big swing.
And she's leading in times on attack coming into this third set. It had just 5 kills. Make it 6 for her now. As Creighton gets another point here, making it 2-0. But Kayla Zimmerman, as you said, Kay, she's been involved, and it feels like she's done more than what her stats will tell you with just 6 kills now.
Absolutely, but that's what you want from a leader. You don't want their stats to determine how well of a game they had. Yes, you do, but, you know, she leads in other aspects.
She's been great on the block on that far side.
She's
getting up
making
with
it
Keely
tough.
Davis several times, and Naomi Hickman when she's been in the middle. Peterson to serve for Northern Iowa. To the middle for Reinhardt. She drills it right into the chest of Kanavidov.
And Jays are doing a great job getting that ball to their setter and being able to have their setters make those decisions on who to set, and it makes it, again, tough on UNI to decide who's going to get the attack. And it's great that Creighton's now involving their middles a lot more.
Well, whether it's been Reinhardt or Hickman in there, they've had a ton of success going to that middle set.
Absolutely.
And off the overpass, it's Jayla Zimmerman with a hammer shot.
Again, big hands at the net. They don't move. She just jumps straight up and puts it straight down. I always wondered how that feels. That's got to feel good.
It's kind of, yeah.
That's a big swing.
I've always wondered how it feels to dunk a basketball, which I'm not ever going to get close to. Maybe if we lower the rim to about 6 feet.
Someone lift you up a little bit.
Yeah.
A little trampoline action.
4-2 Creighton into the lead. UNI to serve with Kaylee Donner, a redshirt freshman out of Cedar Rapids. Bumped up by Van Ekeren. Zimmerman, good shot for her. And just as we said, Jayla Zimmerman hasn't really shown up on the stat sheet. Here she comes. Now she leads the way with 8 kills.
Her first kill was that big swing. Took it to the left side, and just right there she sees how balanced she is and how well she can see the court. She doesn't have to swing as hard as she can to get a kill.
8 kills on 20 attacks for Zimmerman, and there's an ace. Add that one to the total, her second ace of the match.
As soon as I say she hasn't shown up necessarily on the stat sheet, here she comes.
And a timeout for UNI as they've fallen behind by 4. here in the early going. Of course, Jayla Zimmerman was a second-team All-American out of high school. Number 49 recruit in the country out of Lincoln. Let's look at the all-conference players for Creighton. The preseason polls. Keely Davis makes the list. Keely's shown up well today. Erica Kostelak, who mentioned that she transferred before last season from Cincinnati. And there's Jayla Zimmerman, also on the preseason All-Big East list. And I love Jayla going to the finger guns here in the photo. It's a class move.
She was the lone unanimous preseason All-Big East.
Erica Kostelak perhaps benefited because of the injury that ended her season last year. The season was delayed, and now she gets to start her season on time after recovering from that season-ending injury. We talked about it off air before we started. I don't know that I've ever seen a volleyball player go double knee brace, Kate.
I think we were chatting about it, and I had to agree with you. And you know, to me, knees are scary things, and
yeah, all credit to her for getting back out there.
Absolutely. Those are definitely scarier things to come back from.
Certainly. Another good serve from Jayla Zimmerman, but this one's just a bit long.
We were also talking to you before the game that Kostelak also does wear the long leggings, I would say.
That's a rarity too.
And I said before the game, I said, I think she's one of maybe 2 players I know of. There's an outside from Minnesota that wears them as well. And lo and behold, a player on UNI wears them as well.
So 7-3 Creighton. It'll be the freshman Reinhardt to serve. Bump up in the air, Sinnell off the hands. And Ekren to Hickman, that one's blocked. Saved by Zimmerman. Davis with a second crack at it. Gonna set up for UNI, and that's a good cross-court shot from Yagmur Sinnell, freshman out of Manisa, Turkey.
I think she does a really good job of being an undersized outside hitter. She does a pretty good job of deciding when to give everything to that ball, when to take something off of it. You know, when she sees 4 hands in her face, being smart with the ball.
And there's a good shot from Davis. That's going to give Creighton the point. We were talking, they have Yagmur Sinnell for Northern Iowa listed at 6 feet tall, but she's standing next to Olivia Chernagel, who's also listed at 6 feet tall, and there's a couple inches difference there.
It's a little bit of a discrepancy there. If she is 6 foot, I am 5'11".
Here's Pua'a serve for Creighton. Set to the middle, back row, that's Holterhouse. And Davis for Creighton, good shot for her, overpass, gets it across again, and nothing the Panthers can do about that one.
Second chance, that's what you get for staying ready at the net.
9-4. Blue Jays already starting to threaten the sweep here over the Panthers. Pua'a. Now outside for Chernagel, she's blocked. And that's Naomi Hickman once again. Boy, she's been huge on the defensive side today.
She has, and her, along with both of our outside hitters, have been wreaking havoc for UNI's right-sided middle attacks.
10-4 the score, and how about this? Creighton with a .317 hitting percentage through 2 sets and 14 points. That's 30 kills and only 10 errors, 17 attack errors for the Panthers.
And if I was Kirsten right now, I would not be upset at that stat. That's going to be hitting at a clip of .317, 30 kills on only 10 errors. That's going to be a tough team to beat.
You're going to win a lot of games if you can hit the ball that way.
Absolutely.
We've been talking so much about the inexperience for Northern Iowa, and I wonder if you could just recount from your experience, you know, playing for the Blue Jays. What is it kind of like when you get up there, you're one of the older players on the team, and you have to welcome those new players into the system that's already established, and you're winning games at a high clip? What is that like to get those new people into the fold?
Mostly pretty easy. I mean, coaches recruit players that they think will fit well into their program and fit well into the chemistry that they've already built for their team. And so attributed to both of these teams is trying to integrate these new players into a non-normal season and a non-normal preseason. Like, they didn't get to even like normal team activities.
Right.
Like, you just don't get to do that. So it's got to be tougher for both teams to have and, you know, build that chemistry with their new players.
Out of the timeout, Northern Iowa able to get themselves back to within 5. And Taylor Alden, freshman setter, back to serve. Pua'a has to chase that one down, gets it to Davis, blocked right back, but kept alive. And Davis with a second chance. And set far side, and the big swing there. But it's dug out by Nelson. And Davis again with the dink shot, got it to go. Boy, she had 2 big swings that didn't really get through the block, and then just took a little different route for the 3rd try.
UNI just seems to not be picking that up. I think Keeley has done that maybe 3 or 4 times in a row, and that's got to be frustrating as a coach, saying, hey, someone stand there. She's been doing it 3 or 4 times. I'd want her at this point to blast me down the line rather than let her get another roll shot.
So into the game to serve is the freshman Scott High School, Megan Scosindi. There's another block at the net for Creighton. Annika Welty, she's into the game for the first time as well. Sophomore middle out of Parkville, Missouri.
That wall for Creighton has just shown up today. I do want to point out Alden being a freshman. I think she's been doing a good job of, as an incoming freshman, trying to lead a team. And, you know, that setters, you know, they're the quarterback of your team. And I think she's done a good job today.
And Snell with another kill, and then she'll head to the bench. So Yagmar Snell leading the way for Northern Iowa. 7 kills on 15 attacks. He's got the best hitting percentage of anyone who's consistently been attacking the ball. Zimmerman off the block and gets it to roll in.
That's always good to see from, you know, a player like Snell. And we have that Holderhaus and that Ardendorf who, you know, are big names for this UNI team, and to have another player step up when they're not having a good game, that's always something great to see, especially from a young player.
And Snell doesn't care if we don't think she's 6 feet tall. She's getting it done. And tried to set it across, did Chernagel, and 2 in the middle. Welty and Reinhardt said no thank you. Here's Nelson to serve. Kept alive and pushed over. Scosindi out of the back row. Now a chance for Welty. And then the big shot from Arndorfer is rejected right back in her face. And the struggles for Kalissa Arndorfer, preseason All-Valley player, continue.
And we talked about this on the break as well. She's just having a tough time getting through that block on that outside.
Nelson will continue to serve. That near side set, and it still doesn't get anything done, but Welty couldn't quite save it. They've just had so little success on the right side, Kate.
They really have, and again, you got to attribute that to the Jays block. You just can't get through it at this point. So I think she just needs to start being creative with what she's trying to do. She can't power through that. Might as well roll shot it to the back corner, you know, tip it just like that this play before.
After the great save by Holderhaus, UNI able to cash in. 15-8 the score. Jays up 2-0. 10 points away from putting an early cap on this, the 54th meeting between the Panthers and Blue Jays.
Jays are definitely making UNI earn each and every one of their points.
Dump shot there, kept alive. Pua'a, second ball attack. UNI was wise to it. And the Panthers pull off one of their own.
Lucky, it was a good tip. One thing that I have noticed, especially since they've been struggling, is especially with younger players, they're just going to tip. They don't want to take that chance. So that's something that they'll, all their hitters will need to grow into is, you're getting blocked, yes, let's find a different creative way. You're not going to score much at a collegiate level, tipping every ball.
They haven't, UNI. We've seen Creighton go to the middle quite a bit and have a lot of success with it. Is there a reason maybe that the Panthers aren't trying to go to the middle themselves?
Starts with a serve and pass. If you can't get the ball to your setter right there, it's tough to involve.
And there's an ace.
It's tough to involve those middles on something that's, past the 10-foot line. That's just, it's not a smart play.
Emily Bressman, see the ace right here. Gets it under Arnstorff. And there's a little set to the middle, but it's a block. And Reinhardt, we've talked about how good Naomi Hickman was in the middle today on defense, but that's not to say that Reinhardt has been any worse. She's been really good too.
I agree, and her attacking has been pretty balanced as well. I don't think she's erring at a very high level, which is something great to see from a young player.
And now Kiana Schmidt will check in. Bumped up outside, Holterhouse, but a good dig by Nelson on the back line. Zimmerman from the far side, and it's down for a Creighton point. 19-9, Creighton extending the lead out to 10. And it really looks like the Panthers may have lost the faith a little bit in this one, Kate.
I'd have to agree. And when you're looking at stats for our big hitters for Creighton, I mean, Keely Davis is hitting at a .471, Zimmerman at a .318. Even Reinhardt, I mean, she's hitting at a .375. That's a pretty good looking stat sheet, if you ask me.
Yeah, for only having 8 attacks, she's been efficient.
One thing I'd say about the Jays is they're keeping the ball in play. If you look at hitting attack errors, UNI has 22, Creighton has 10. Keeping that ball in play is what's making this look easier for the Jays.
Holterhouse gets kill number 8 on the day for her. 10-point advantages of Jays have doubled up UNI 20-10. Boy, I wonder. Back in about 2004, when Creighton had lost 23 or 24 in a row to UNI, if you'd told a Blue Jay volleyball fan, look, in 2021, you're going to be leading UNI 20-11 and leading 2 sets to none.
On an 8-2 record in the past 10 years.
Right. It probably would have seemed pretty unbelievable at the time, but that's just testament to all the work that Kirsten Bernthal has put into this program and making it one of the absolute best in the country.
Absolutely, and I had the privilege of being in the MVC for 1 year before we moved to the Big East, and even then, I mean, UNI, I think we got a chance to play them every year that I was here, but it's always been a dogfight between Creighton and UNI. Both coaches doing a great job with both programs.
There's a good shot from the near side, and Holterhouse continuing to rack up some stats here, even as it looks like this one might be out of reach. Holterhouse is hitting a respectable 286 with 9 kills. There's a good serve. Krause able to dig it out, and then a big swing from Kiana Schmidt is a little deep.
Hitting errors are going to happen. What I'm most excited watching these Jays is their passing. I mean, they have kept their entire team in system almost this entire game.
Davis, dig by Peterson. Now Sennell from deep. Second ball attack is thrown in deep by Van Ekeren. Boy, most of the time you see those second ball attacks, they're just little dumps over the net, but Van Ekeren threw this one to the back corner.
In my time, for those Blue Jay fans who have been following us for a while, Michelle Sickner and a left-handed Megan Bober were 2 of the best setter dumpers, if that's the right word.
I think that's correct terminology.
That I have ever had the privilege of playing with. Both of them could get up, and I see Van Eckeren doing that, you know, as she gets older and gets a little bit more powerful of just throwing that sucker down, but that's a tough ball thrown to the corner.
And the past 2 setters for Creighton have been really good at that as well. And Madeline Cole was great at it, and Lydia Dimke as well. She would use that second ball attack really well.
And it's always good to have a setter that has that in her repertoire, because that keeps those blockers honest. If you have a setter that doesn't dump at all, they're going to leave you alone, and they're just going to go straight to your hitters. But making that middle blocker stay with your setter until the ball comes out of her hands.
Freshman Kate Mazer trying to serve it out for the Blue Jays. Second ball attack, just as we were talking about it, right there.
We'll leave it to the setters to decide the rest of the game.
And Taylor Alden puts one down. 23-15. Creighton well in control of this set and of this match. There's really been no doubt throughout most of this one. And it's Alden to serve. Nelson. Mazer to the near side, and Welty buries one along the back line. It'll be set and match point for the Blue Jays coming up. And it's going to be freshman Megan Skosindi in to serve it out. Match points for Creighton. Skosindi takes it deep, and it's just long. She was trying to end it with the serve.
Just wide.
24-16, Panthers back in control. They will send Peyton Arenstorff to serve. Crowd rises to its feet in anticipation. Set to the middle. Hickman. It's a good dig by Peterson along the back row. And another chance for Creighton. Outside, Zimmerman trying to put this one on ice, but didn't get it to cross the net. UNI stays alive. 24-17.
Just trying to go 2 thumb down on that.
Arnstorff to serve again. At the net, Mazer outside, Zimmerman off the block and down, and the Blue Jays are 2-0 to start this 2021 season.
That entire time, Jays seemed just very calm, cool, collected, and confident, I'd say. I mean, again, UNI maybe didn't challenge them as much as in close game type situations, but that's always good to see from a team at the beginning of the year.
Finishing touches on that one put down by Jayla Zimmerman, who ends the day leading the way with 12 kills for the Blue Jays. Going to be joined now by the head coach, Kirsten Bernthal Booth. Coach, as the UNI players pass in front, this is, you know, these are the things we deal with in today's day and age. These are the tough things that broadcasters have to deal with. It's nothing compared to what you have to deal with on a day-to-day basis, I'm sure. But, you know, first of all, congratulations on the victory. Good start to the season at 2-0. What's your main takeaway from this win against UNI?
Well, UNI is a perennial power, and so to get a win over them, a sweep, is a very good thing. I didn't think, you know, our hitting numbers looked pretty good, but I didn't think that we were all that clean. You know, UNI mixes it up hit tip, and we had some disruption there. I thought we had way too many unforced service errors. But I think a lot of, you know, I think you look at things that you want to improve on. Are they improvable quickly, or are we just going to have to kind of deal with it? And I think a lot of the things that are on the list are things that we can go back to the gym and hopefully be better by next week on. I mean, some of it's just communication and getting used to playing next to each other. And, you know, we had a lot of miscommunication balls. And that's just the fact that, I mean, honestly, we've got 15 players. They all got in tonight that are all good players. So a lot of positions are up for grabs. So we haven't been able to build continuity as early this season as sometimes we are.
Jayla Zimmerman led the way for your offense today. And we said kind of early on in set number 2, she had been so involved, but she, you know, the stats weren't really showing up for her. How would you rate the way Jayla finished over sets 2 and 3?
You know, Zimmerman just does so much. You know, she carries so much load for us. I think Jayla's going to continue to get better as we get used to new setters. I mean, you guys saw that. A lot of times we had a hitch in our approach because we're still getting used to rhythm. I mean, I had one ball that, you know, they called a hut, so an inside play, and it was out of system, and Hina went high on it, and Jayla approached fast on it. You know, either of them can make that adjustment. They just didn't know what they were doing. So some of that stuff is just going to kind of get better as they get used to each other. But she did a great job, and you know, leader, kind of that calming personality, just does a really good job out there for us.
I mean, in a season like this, that's been, you know, the schedule has been out of whack. It's been a challenge for everybody involved. I mean, just what can you say about the way your team has approached the uncertainty from a day-to-day?
I say this, but they are such a resilient group. I mean, the gym is kind of the sanctuary. It's so fun. We haven't had a bad practice. You know, we don't have attitude kids. Like, they're just really great. And I think, you know, I think this time is hard for everybody, right? But I think that they are weathering it as well as we could hope. You know, I think they're doing well. You know, I think, and I always say that with hesitation because I want to make sure we continue to help them because we're not through this, right? But I do think playing is bringing a lot of joy to all of us, so that's really good. You know, we've been thinking about this for 13 months, so to be out here is awesome, and so many people are, I mean, you guys included, are going through a lot of things to make this happen, and you know, I've said this, but grateful is a big theme for us, that we just are grateful to be out here.
Well, Coach, you get your 9th win in the last 11 against UNI. Congratulations. Go celebrate with your team.
Thank you so much.
There's the head coach, Kirsten Bernthal-Booth. All right, Kate Elman, final thoughts on this one.
I thought it was a great performance by the Jays. I mean, at the beginning, we talked about how they weren't serving and passing very well. Again, like Kirsten said, those are easy fixes. Those are quick fixes for a team. I mean, getting the gym serve and pass a little bit more. I thought the Jays played well. I thought, other than a few communication errors, they played well together. So I'm excited to see what they do for the rest of the season. Well,
it's been a lot of fun. Thanks for being here with me. You've been a great partner, and the Jays put a cap on win number 2 for the season.
It's been fun.
All right. That's going to do it for us here on GoCreighton.com. Hope you enjoyed our coverage of Creighton women's volleyball today. Jays win it in straight sets over Northern Iowa. We'll see you next time for Blue Jay Volleyball.